The fact that he's sitting in the Raiders coach's box with the headset on and talking to Pete Carroll, talking to Spytek, their general manager, talking to their offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly, is complete and utter BS, because the NFL is the ultimate competitive place, and you're allowing a guy to sit there who's a part owner of a team, which is fine, and now he's involved in these game plans. And this week, I guess he's got Bears-Cowboys. Yeah. That's probably who he has. And now he's going to be meeting with these coaches and talking about players. That is utter BS as far as I'm concerned, because it tilts the balance of competitiveness. Because now he has intimate knowledge, obviously, of the team that he owns, the Raiders. He's sitting in there listening and talking to GMs. He's also talking to other coaching staffs and other players around the league. I know he's going to try to be objective, but how can you be objective when you're in this situation? And why are they allowing this?
Boomer Esiason yesterday on Tom Brady, sitting in the Raiders coach's booth. Now, a couple things on this. Good morning. Jeremy and Joe, get to your calls in a moment. Get to Bills, Dolphins, plenty to get to. Good morning. It's beautiful outside. It's beautiful every day now.
Great week. Yep.
We sure we're not in like a time loop. It's 80 degrees every day. Wonderful. Anyway, so on the Brady thing and on Boomer Esiason here, there are two questions I think that you can ask with this. And also there's an important clarification you had yesterday that he is not getting into coaches' meetings, pre-production meetings with these coaches and players. Correct?
I saw a clarification yesterday. He's not allowed in those production meetings in person. He's allowed to be there via Zoom. Okay. Like he could be there remotely. He is not allowed at those teams' practices.
Right. So he can zoom in
to the production
on
meetings.
A conversation with Ben Johnson when Nance and Romo, like they do, meet with Ben Johnson and they meet with Sean McDermott if there's a game, and they go, they talk to the coach.
Yep.
All right, how deep you want to go on this? What do we really think is being revealed in these meetings? These coaches...
Well, I could believe that some things are being revealed in these meetings, but I also could believe that the moment Tom Brady zooms into these meetings, they know who he is. They know who he works for. And if Ben Johnson was willing to, give a play-by-play guy a little bit of something on the game coming up, and he plays the Raiders in 3 weeks, and Brady's now in the meeting, I'm not telling you what I was about to tell you.
What were you about to tell him?
You could have told him, wait till you see... How many times we're going to throw the ball to the running back in this game because they don't cover him. Something like that. I don't know.
Is it at all possible that they say that to Jim Nance?
Yeah, I think it's possible.
You think it's possible they say that to Jim Nance?
I think it's possible.
I do not think it's possible.
You don't think that they would give him little insights on how they're going to play the game?
Nope.
Then what are they in the meeting for?
To say they met with the coach. That's it.
That's it.
Just so Tony Romo on the broadcast can say, we talked with Sean McDermott this week, and he told us he loves Joey Bosa. Bosa works hard. This is a league that we just watched Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks is embedded with the team for a month. What was the most salacious piece of info we got out of a month embedded with Hard Knocks?
But that's just because the Bills didn't want certain things that would have been videotaped on the air.
Okay.
Right.
They're just going to, the thing they don't want Hard Knocks to show on the air, they're just going to tell Tony Romo? I don't think so. I don't believe that these production meetings really reveal that much at all. That's my first part of this. Listen, as the chief Tom Brady hater, I love hating on Tom Brady. It's my favorite thing to do. I do not believe that he is actually getting some sort of advantage any more than he's just watching the game. He watches a game and sees a game and then can go to the Raiders and be like, hey, you know what? I saw the Commanders this week and I thought they did this. Can he not do that from his house? Can he not do that by just buying a ticket from using the All-22? He's basically a consultant / coach for the Raiders as a part-time owner, as a minority owner. Nothing wrong with that in my eyes. I don't think you actually have to care about it. If you want to be mad because it's Tom Brady, which I love to do, then I think you can do that. And maybe I'll sit here and play that I'm mad about it and I want the rules to not be bent for him, but it doesn't even feel like they're being bent for him. And you got to go a long way to convince me that these production meetings with a coach or a player are actually producing any information that could be weaponized in a month.
Would it be way worse for you if he was allowed to watch practice the way the other guys are?
Yes. But even that.
Yeah.
Look at the restriction placed on local media. They can watch to a certain point. You can see who's warming up, and then you go away. But you wouldn't let another team in there? Fine. You don't want another team in there to see stuff, and he is another team. He's the Raiders. So he's not allowed to watch practice. I'm good with that. Oh, and you got something there?
Yeah, the one thing that I kept hearing yesterday, I listened to a lot of different people talk about this because I was just interested in it, was it's not as much schematic stuff that would be the advantage as it is relationship, character, like sort of intangible stuff that you get from those meetings, those production meetings we're talking about. Like the film you watch, the film's the film, but you might be able to glean something from what a coach tells you about how he feels about a player that then you can apply and look at the film and go, oh,
sure,
I'm going to notice this guy a little more and maybe how they're utilizing this player, and then whether you want to chase after that player or use that schematic strategy in some way to apply to your team. I think that's where the conflict of interest comes in, that he is getting information about the intangible relationship side of the game that I don't think most other team owners would ever get out of anybody.
I wouldn't dispute for a second there's a conflict of interest. The question is, how bad does it actually look for the NFL, and does it lead to any sort of questionable integrity about the league? And that, I just don't think so. So, conflict of interest. Mike Florio has an axe to grind with this exact story as well. He wrote about this. It's the ultimate pro football pick a lane. Brady won't do it unless and until someone musters the nerve to make him do it. Like, you shouldn't be on the broadcast as an owner. You shouldn't have Jerry Jones on Fox during the games, because you're not getting a true, honest assessment. And that I get. I feel like the television side of it might be more compromised than the football side of it. And the television side, I don't think people care.
No, I mean, I don't think he's very good at it, personally. But and I don't really care.
And all these networks are already in bed with the league to begin with. ESPN just bought a portion of the NFL network, or vice versa, like that.
ESPN, they bought 10% of ESPN.
Yeah, the NFL network. The NFL did.
Yeah, ESPN gets NFL network.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
So now they're together.
Right.
That's there are lots of conflicts of interest that you could point out and say, like, well, that doesn't look too good. What really comes of it? In this case, Florio pointed out that if the Raiders get good, it becomes a bigger story. And that the league shouldn't let it get to that point.
Right, the fact that it became a big story when they lost, and Geno Smith had like the worst game of his career. It's like a historically bad game for the amount of times he threw the ball down the field and never completed a pass down the field. It was like a historic level of how bad he was in that game with Brady in the booth. Man, if they got good, imagine he did that in a playoff game, or like he was seen there in the Super Bowl. It would be a story. And I guess it is a good question of how much value he really is deriving from these meetings, because I would be skeptical too that he's getting a lot of game planning stuff Owen's talking about. That might be more like, hey, you pick up on a coach or a GM not loving a guy as much as you thought, and maybe you tell your own guy, like, hey, we should go try and trade for that guy.
He's definitely getting game planning stuff. Like, he's definitely involved in the Raiders.
No, I know, but I mean from the other team. I mean from the production stuff.
Right, which I think they're not giving him for a single second. Pete Carroll confirms that Brady and Chip Kelly talk every week. Brady is a part of what they're doing. If you want to call him a coach, you want to call him a consultant. There was a report that he meets 3 times a week or so with Chip Kelly and goes over film with him. Now, Pete Carroll confirmed the claim, but disputed the specifics of it. That's not accurate. That's not accurate. That's not accurate 3 times. We have conversations. I talk to Tom. Chip talks to Tom regularly. I mean, we have a tremendous asset, so we all get along well. We respect each other, so we talk about life and football and whatever it comes. He has great insights. We're lucky to have him as an owner. He goes on to say that they don't meet, they just talk, or whatever.
They don't meet, they just talk?
Right. He said it's not.
Okay.
Well, this is Florio saying like it's not accurate to say Brady and Kelly meet. They don't. They talk. Okay. Right, like that's not
That
accurate.
means they talk on the phone. They don't actually go into a meeting room together. That's all the difference
that's
is.
what Pete Carroll's kind of getting into. He's like, oh, that's not accurate. That's not accurate. They don't meet 3 times a week. Yeah, we talk. All right, whatever. So Brady's involved with the Raiders. He is part owner, and I don't know. Are other former players jealous of A, the ownership stake, B, the hands in still in the whatever the you're involved in the making of the soup.
Even the broadcasting stuff. He got $300 million without ever proving he could do it.
Right.
He got $300 million from Fox because of his name. So there could be jealousy on that front, too. And also, to be fair, he's not necessarily the individual that deserves the benefit of the doubt on this kind of stuff, is he?
Well, it strikes me as hilarious that he went to a team that has a GM whose name is Spytech.
Yeah, I heard the word Spytech in that. I'm like, who? What? Spytech?
What's this guy's name? Spytech?
Right.
Love him. No, whatever. I love hating Brady. I love getting on Brady. I do think that this is a lot of pearl clutching for what? They're not. I don't think they're giving him information. I don't think these production meetings, that he's not even in the facilities. Like, if it were to stop, sure, fine. But I don't know. I'm ready to be wrong on this. I don't see any sort of wild scandal coming. The problem becomes the Raiders are the 1 seed. The game's on Fox. It wouldn't be, right? Because they're the AFC. All right.
No, sometimes they do that, right?
They've
been flip-flopping more recently.
Is that
the last
right?
couple years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the Raiders are in a big, important game, and he's on the broadcast. That can't happen. That's easy to avoid. That is just don't give him the Raiders. Now, is it...
I bet they're already doing that.
Right. Is it unavoidable? It's probably not that hard to keep Brady away from a Raider game.
No, right. But maybe if they get really good, and Fox in a couple of years is like, hey, we'd like to have Packers-Raiders.
All right, just
when we want our A-team on that, but maybe...
your A-team, put Greg Olson on the broadcast.
I was going to say Greg Olson. Greg Olson's the one who really should have a bone to pick on all of this, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'm better at this than him. And look at him. He's the one getting all the money, and he's allowed to do both things. He just shouldn't have been allowed to do both things. That's really what it comes down to. He shouldn't be in the booth. He's not very good at it. He's getting way overpaid for it because of the money that he makes. He didn't even want to do it. He wanted to be the owner. He's probably only doing it because he got a giant check. Like, hey, want to do it for you don't want to do it, but you want to do it for $300 million? Anybody would say yes to that.